Channel 6.
This is Action 6 News, the Noon Report, with Tom Burris and Karen Massey, Wendy Craver with the weather, and Dan Fellner Sports.
Good afternoon. At the top of our news, rioting inmates are still in control of West Virginia State Penitentiary this afternoon. About 200 inmates used homemade weapons to take 16 hostages last night. They're still holding 14 of them this afternoon. Complaints over shabby prison conditions and restrictions on holiday contact visits prompted the uprising. The inmates say they're tired of being treated like dogs. One inmate has been killed. While it's not known exactly how he died, authorities say that he was killed by other inmates. Right now, some 100 riot-equipped police are surrounding the prison. The inmates have demanded to talk with the governor, but the governor says he will not negotiate until all the hostages are released. Action 6 News reporter Mark Strassman is in West Virginia, and he will have more on the prison hostage situation tonight at 5:30. In other news, a Columbus woman remains in critical condition after being hit by gunfire in a terrorist attack in Rome. 77-year-old Elizabeth Root is being treated at a Rome hospital this afternoon. Mrs. Root was struck in the lung by a single bullet. 5 Americans were killed when terrorists opened fire on passengers at ticket counters at Leonardo da Vinci Airport in Rome last Friday. Well, at least 20 people were forced from their homes following an explosion in Portland, Oregon yesterday. Authorities say 52-year-old Donald Nickerson was killed when he ignited gas from a line in his basement. Police say it appears to have been a suicide. One neighbor said Nickerson called him 2 hours before the blast and said, "If the house goes, just duck." 6 people were injured in the explosion, and the usually quiet neighborhood this afternoon looks like it was hit by a hurricane. Well, 2 Ohioans, including a retired OSU professor, were among 8 Americans and 2 Chileans who died when a small charter plane crashed into a glacier on the Antarctic Peninsula. The plane went down during a New Year's Eve excursion flight. Among the victims was retired OSU economics professor Walter Michael. Officials say that the unpredictable Antarctic weather probably was to blame. Well, in recent weeks, it seems that there have been an alarming number of plane crashes. Critics warn that the margin of safety in air travel is steadily diminishing, and as Robbie Timmons reports, many airport employees agree with that assessment.
We're understaffed, very short-handed. It's almost like we have record numbers of traffic every day. We're not crying wolf. The problems are real. The concerns are real.
This air traffic controller's voice has been altered because the Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA, has ordered controllers not to talk to the media. His concerns affect the 1 million Americans who fly each and every day.
There are 14,000 commercial jets, 50,000 private planes flying every day in the United States, all sharing the same airspace, all requiring the same amount of attention from air traffic controllers.
We have seen an increase in incidents in the air traffic control system due primarily to lack of experience. So to address that concern, we had suggested to the FAA that they do indeed rehire some of the fired controllers.
In 1981, more than 11,000 striking air traffic controllers were fired by President Reagan when they refused to return to work. Several hundred of them have been rehired. Even though there are plans to add another 1,000 controllers over the next 2 years, Transportation Secretary Elizabeth Dole feels strongly that controllers who cross the picket line may not work well with those who refused. In a recent news conference, she said, mixing the old and new controllers would be like mixing oil and water. Our controller crossed the picket line and kept his job, but says the FAA has not kept its promises.
That staffing would be brought back to normal levels, equipment problems would be taken care of, and in effect, we haven't seen any of this come true.
A government survey of more than 5,000 air traffic staff found that 72% of managers, 86% of supervisors, and 91% of controllers agree all felt more controllers are needed. 69% of controllers said work overload was affecting safety. Some blame that overload for accidents like this one where an Eastern Airlines jet and a helicopter nearly collided.
Frightening is putting it very mildly. They're no longer just targets on the screen. These are people you're looking at.
There were 1,000 near misses recorded in 1984, and it's estimated that number will increase by 40% in 1985. We tried to talk to the FAA about these problems. They were willing to talk to us, but not about air traffic control. The FAA is not alone when it comes to keeping our skies safe. While we may hope bureaucracy and red tape do not play a part in airline safety, in reality, they do. More on that in our next report. This is Robbie Timmons reporting.
Coming up next on the Noon Report, affluenza. We'll tell you what it is and who it affects. And exercise programs at the workplace are helping to keep health care costs down. More on that in just a moment. Leader this afternoon. During its first meeting of 1986, the board swore in newly elected and re-elected members Stephen Eibling, Loretta Hurd, and Bill Moss, and then the 7-member panel unanimously elected Loretta Hurd as its new president. Hurd asked the board to join together to face what she says will be a very difficult year for Columbus schools.
I think everyone is well aware that the board is looking at reorganizing our DSEG plan, and I think there's going to be some difficulty in that. Also, the fact that the moratorium will be lifted from the annexation, and I think that the board is looking to deal with that, and that's going to be a very difficult issue.
But she adds the overriding issue this year will be money. Hurd says the system is badly in need of additional funds, and the school board will have to work hard to get the upcoming school levy passed. In Health Watch news, 57-year-old Billy White of Hamilton, Ohio, is resting with a new heart today. White received the new organ in a 2-hour operation last night at the University of Cincinnati's Medical Center. Doctors say the operation went smoothly, and White is doing well. It's the hospital's second transplant in just 15 days. Well, many Americans will suffer from heart problems this year. Often having a heart attack is one way people discover they need to change their lifestyle. Others, however, come to that realization much sooner with much less pain and trauma. Glenn Farley has a report on how some companies help their employees do just that.
I was scared. I was perspiring real heavy, and he told me that on a scale of 1 to 10 that I probably had about a 6.
Bob Leonard is describing a heart attack. A heart attack that threatened more than his life. It threatened his business. The bills from his heart attack, triple bypass, and rehabilitation helped jack up the health insurance premium for his wholesale furniture company to $35,000 a year.
Started right here.
Bob Leonard never thought he would have a heart attack, but he did. And it looked a lot like this one. A clogged artery blocking oxygen-rich blood to a suffocating heart muscle.
I never smoked in my life. Never had a cigarette in my mouth.
What do you think brought it on?
Well, I think that I just let myself go. I was overeating. I was too heavy. I weighed about 240 pounds at that time.
What do you weigh now?
185.
Leonard is fighting back. He's eating better, less junk as he calls it, and he's exercising.
How do you feel? Feel great. Feel great.
Health insurance premiums are affecting the bottom line of companies large and small, and Leonard isn't alone in the battle to control them. Some companies are installing workout rooms right on the premises, but programs don't have to be that extravagant.
You can get away as little as doing health risk appraisals, which are computerized questionnaires to actually assess an employee's health risk. That can be as little as $5 to $12 an employee.
Okay, let me show you what I want you to do.
Comprehensive health risk appraisals can be helpful in identifying warning signs before they become problems. A comprehensive health appraisal deals with more than just being in good shape. They uncover things like alcoholism, financial and family problems. Experts say there's one concern about comprehensive screening: confidentiality.
Employees hesitate to participate on the front end because they are afraid that management is looking for a way to get rid of them.
When physical and emotional problems are uncovered and dealt with, experts say both parties benefit. Such a screening may have warned Bob Leonard about his blocked artery before he had a heart attack.
Has the heart attack made you a dedicated exercise person?
You better believe it.
This is Glenn Farley reporting.
Well, we've all heard of influenza, but have you heard about affluenza? Well, the chief of the Carl Jung Institute in San Francisco uses that term to describe a disorder affecting rich children. John Levy says kids from rich families often fall victim to emotional disorders caused largely by, believe it or not, having too much money. Levy says the children of the wealthy may often lack the motivation and self-discipline to stick with a challenging job. They also may run into difficulty establishing long-term relationships and generally feel alienated from the entire world. Well, that's one disease I don't think I probably will never have.
I hope
I'll
not.
say one thing about the weather, it looks more like influenza than affluenza.
Absolutely. With temperatures warming up and then getting cold again, certainly makes us all prone to influenza. Yeah. Well, we have a yo-yo temperature forecast for you when we come back. Stay right there. Well, Happy New Year to you, too.
It's our first day on the air in the new year.
Yes. Today's weather's stupid, and tomorrow's weather's dumb.
Okay, what's the difference between stupid and dumb?
I don't know, but we'll find out what the difference is in our forecast.
If we don't know by now, we'll never know.
We're in big trouble. Let's take a look outside. Right now in Columbus, our temperature 40 degrees. Isn't it like spring out there? Winds are from the southeast at 7 miles per hour. Relative humidity 50%. Our barometer holding steady, 30.14 inches. We do have mostly cloudy skies here in central Ohio. We could have a little bit of sunshine, make it a perfect day, but looks like cloud cover through much of the afternoon. Our daytime high yesterday, 34. Our low this morning, 31. As you can see, that's pretty much above normal for this time of year because we had a very warm overnight low. And let's take a look at our satellite picture from Weather Center 6. As you can see, we pretty much have cloud cover through much of the Buckeye State and a storm system beginning to brew now over the Great Lakes region. On radar, not too much to report. It's mainly light snow from northeastern Ohio into western New York, and it's pretty much a lake effect snow. And then we have a new area of snow that's developed over the upper Mississippi Valley into the northern plains. And snow is in our forecast, and I'll tell you why. Right now we have a warm air mass pushing northward from the Gulf of Mexico into the Ohio Valley. Nice warm air, nice temperatures today, but right behind it, a cold front, the storm system moving in. When that warm air and cold air meet, that does mean precipitation. It will probably come overnight. May start off as rain and then turn to snow as temperatures begin to drop overnight, and then taper off to flurries tomorrow morning. But our forecast for tomorrow, pretty much cloudy skies statewide, colder air moving in, temperatures on the downswing. Let's take a look at our forecast for central Ohio. This afternoon we'll call for mostly cloudy skies, a high temperature of 45 degrees. Doesn't that sound nice? And then tonight, snow is likely, but again, it may start off as rain because of all our nice warm temperatures, and then taper off to flurries in the morning, low temperature of 27. And then our extended forecast, Friday through Sunday, looks like partly cloudy skies on Friday, high temperature 28, sunny skies on Saturday, high of 32, back up to a normal reading of 36 on Sunday under partly cloudy skies. Not a bad forecast.
I've seen a lot of New Year's come in a lot worse than this one did.
Oh, absolutely. It's been golden so far for 1986. Let's
keep it that way.
Keep it going, right.
Thanks, Wendy. Well, this is the time of year when many of us like to spend a lot of time around a cozy fireplace. But there are some precautions we need to take to make sure that we're doing it safely. The experts say if we don't maintain our fireplace properly, it could result in a house fire. All fires cause soot to build up in the chimney, and that soot can eventually catch fire. So to prevent that, the soot needs to be cleaned out at least once a year. A chimney sweep will charge you about $50 to do the job. It takes only about an hour, and it could be the best insurance you can get against home fires. Well, those much talked about college bowl games are over now, and Dan Fellner will sort out the winners and the losers next. So stay with us.
Weather picture in and return it to McDonald's.
Each drawing shown will receive a free Happy Meal coupon, a certificate, and is entered into a monthly drawing for a television set.
Beginning today, visit McDonald's and turn in your drawings and watch me announce the winners January 13th through March 24th on Action 6 News Weather, Monday through Friday at 5:30.
Yesterday being the day of bowl games, did you watch them all?
Yeah, I think about 14 hours worth. I think my eyes have permanently lost focus from staring at the TV set all day. You know, you're kind of fading in and out, watching all that action all day long.
The last one was the Orange Bowl. Was that the last one?
That's right.
That was still going when I went to bed.
About midnight or so.
What a tremendous halftime show they had at the Orange Bowl.
Yeah, the Orange Bowl has always put on a great halftime show.
That's my favorite part of the day.
If you can stay up that late. Yeah, well, that would. Sometimes the halftime show puts me to sleep. Well, it won't become official until this evening when the polls come out, but I think it is safe to say, very safe to say, that Oklahoma will be the national champion. The Sooners went 11-1 this year and finished it off with a very convincing win over previously top-ranked Penn State last night in the Orange Bowl. Let's take a look from beautiful Miami second quarter. This play will put the Sooners on top for good. Jamel Holloway will go deep to Keith Jackson. A 71-yard play. The Nittany Lions didn't know what hit them. Penn State quarterback John Schaefer had a rough night for Penn State. He was picked off 3 times by the Sooners, including that one. But Penn State was still within striking distance until this play. With less than 2 minutes left in the game, very late at night, Oklahoma's Lydell Carr takes it 61 yards for the score. Sooners win at 25-10. Now, the other team that had a shot at the national title, the Miami Hurricanes, they took on Tennessee in the Sugar Bowl, and it was Miami that jumped out on top. Vinny Testaverde to Mike Irvin for the score, but from then on, it was all Tennessee. Wild play, Jeff Cowell fumbles, but a teammate, Tim McGee, is there to fall on it for the touchdown, and the Volunteers win it easily, 35-7. Well, the Iowa Hawkeyes also went into their bowl game yesterday with at least some hope for a national title, but you can forget about that now. The Hawkeyes were embarrassed by UCLA in the Rose Bowl. Now, what is it with the Big Ten in Pasadena? This is getting to be humiliating. Big Ten teams have now lost 5 straight Rose Bowls, 11 of the last 12, and 15 of the last 17. It's kind of becoming a joke. And it wasn't very funny for Iowa yesterday. Their highly touted running back, Ronnie Harmon, had a horrible day. He fumbled the ball away 4 times. While it was a bad day for Harmon, UCLA's Eric Ball was simply amazing. He ran for 227 yards and 4 touchdowns as the Bruins ran away with the game 45-28. Now, at least the day wasn't a total waste for the Big Ten. Michigan did beat Nebraska in the Fiesta Bowl. Now, this year, 6 Big Ten teams played in bowl games. 3 of them won and 3 of them lost. Now, later on today at about 6:30, the AP and UPI polls will be coming out. And as I said, little chance that we will not see Oklahoma top the polls at #1. Now, if you're curious about what's going to happen to the Ohio State Buckeyes, well, this morning, the USA Today Top 25 poll came out. Here it is. And the Buckeyes, well, they are ranked 13th on the final football poll of the USA Today of the year. So I think that's a good idea is where we're going to see them on the AP and UPI polls, which will come out later this evening. Some sad news in sports today. Bill Veeck has passed away. He had been associated with baseball for many years. He was an owner of the Chicago White Sox and the Cleveland Indians. He was 71 years old and died early this morning in Chicago of heart failure. Well, it's a big day for the Ohio State basketball team. OSU has lost 2 straight, 3 of their last 4, but they will try and bounce back tonight at home against Michigan State. It is the Buckeyes' Big Ten Conference opener. They go into the game with the record of 6-3. The Spartans are 9-1, but they have not played a difficult schedule. Game time is at 8 o'clock and can be seen right here on Channel 6.
Right here?
Right here. Yes.
Okay, I'll be here.
So I'll be watching it, not at home, but at the game.
Oh, you will?
Yes, so I don't have to worry about my eyes losing focus.
Good. Good. Well, I hope they don't. Thanks, Dan. Where are we? Over here. Dan mentioned the Rose Bowl game yesterday, but prior to it was the annual Rose Bowl parade. The parade rang in the new year with the dazzling flowers, which we see every year, and the floats and the bands. Irma Bonbeck was the Grand Marshal this year. It was the 97th year for the giant parade, and every year it seems to get bigger and better. Coming up next, a group of crazy people who go water skiing in the wintertime. It's their way of bringing in the new year. We'll show you why when we come back. Will be a little jealous when it finds out that Rochester, New York has claimed the title of Kazoo Capital of the World. New Year's Eve revelers hummed their way into the record books as 54,500 people played kazoos in downtown Rochester. The kazoo concert smashed November's record, 40,000-person chorus in the Vanderbilt football game in Nashville. To capture the title, the kazoo blowers had to hum at least 3 songs together. What were they? Well, Daisy, Daisy, Theme from the bridge over the River Kwai, and Take Me Out to the Ball Game. And finally, it's not all that unusual to see people skiing in the wintertime, but as Greg Stone reports, some ski enthusiasts in Minnesota have added a bit of splash to the sport.
First, they cut a path for the boat, using a jackhammer and helping it along with a few determined jumps to loosen up the ice flows. The speedboat slithers in, and they're off, cutting a graceful path between sharp-edged ice chunks. Nearly everyone wore wetsuits or dry suits. The one man was a little confused, thinking he was in Florida instead of the wild north, sporting a pair of shorts.
No, I don't think it's nuts. Everybody else does, though. They think I'm all crazy.
It was an acrobatic display of daring do, complete with tumbling, pyramids, sort of, and some rather creative landings, even barefoot antics.
Oh, I definitely recommend this. As long as your heart's in good shape, you know, I wouldn't want to do that to anybody that had angina. But I feel 100% better when I do this than if I don't.
The sponsor of this bizarre event is the Bald Eagle Water Club. Their icy rite of passage has become a regular feature on the New Year's calendar since 1960 here in Minnesota. Greg Stone for ABC News.
After a story like this, you feel like there should be a disclaimer saying, do not do this at home. Do not try this yourself.
Do not do this on the Scioto River.
Do not do it, period.
No, you won't get me in there.
I figured of all of us, you'd probably be the one that would do it.
I'll wait till it gets to about 90 degrees.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the way to do it, Dan.
That's our noon report today. Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.